Okay, so the Mountune radiator just arrived. We can see it is packaged real nice. I was a little worried about anything being shipped nowadays, but this thing is packed in here real nice and protected. So we're going to go ahead and pull it out of the box. See if we can put it next to the stock radiator. Looks pretty similar in size, which is good. That's what I was expecting. And then we're going to try to slide it in. So here's the two radiators side by side. You can see the Mountune's a little bit thicker, about 2 inches. And the stock, it's hard with the foam on it, but the stock, say, about 1 3/4 ish. So just slightly thicker on the ends. Stock, it's about inch thick for the core, and the Mountune is about 1 1/4 inches. So just slightly larger, which is perfect. So I'm hoping it'll fit in real nice and easy, but the fit and finish is pretty darn good on it. A couple little dings in the fins, but that's to be expected. But it comes with a nice corrugated plastic cover over it, so I'll probably be using this to protect it as I install it. And then you've got your mounts installed on it for the fan shroud and for the AC condenser. So that's it. We're gonna get it under the car and give it a shot to install it. So the first things we need to do is transfer over the rubber washers from the factory radiator. So you got the 2 on the top, and then you got the 2 on the bottom. And then you need to transfer your bleed valve. I ended up buying a new one. It is Ford part number, you can see it right there, C1BZ-8C362-A. You can get the original one off pretty easy, but heard some stories of people breaking them, so I figured I'd just go ahead and buy a new one. They're like $7. So I get that guy on there and snap her in. That's it. So we got our bleed on there and our rubber feet, and then we're gonna go position it under the car. Move the cardboard under there too, and some of the foam pads, just so you can use some stuff to prop it up and start getting it engaged in the AC. So as you're putting it up, you've got to make sure that you get these tabs here. Get this slot in it engaged in the AC condenser. So you can see in the AC condenser, there's these guys, these indentations. I'm not sure if I'll have to look at it when I'm putting it in. I'm not sure if it's the indentations there that it rides in, or if it just rides in this top channel. But either way, you need to get it slotted in. And then once you get everything positioned under the car, you're going to engage the bottom of the condenser in these little brackets. So I think I'm going to take those off before I attempt to put it under there, and then hand tighten them when everything's propped out a little bit. But we'll see how it works out. So we have the radiator positioned under the car. Just trying to get it roughly lined up with where it's going to go in. Just got it set on a piece of cardboard under here, and it looks like we've got to push it a little more to the side, just to help line it up where those tabs are going to be, so there's a little less work. So we're going to carefully, I think I'm going to pull it from the top and bring it in and try to get, again, those tabs in the front hooked into the condenser. So we'll see how that goes. To give yourself a little more clearance, you're going to want to remove the radiator fan shroud brackets on the top. They kind of, especially the one on the passenger side, wants to collide with the condenser hose for the AC. So we're going to pop that off to give us a little more room. So I decided to put the blue plastic corrugated cover over it again as I'm sliding it up in there, because I don't want, or I want to minimize any fin damage. So can see it may want to ride on the plastic shelf in here as it's going up, so this is going to give me a little more freedom to try to get it in there. So it's going to be hard to show, but you can almost see it through this access hole. The little tab, it's hard to see, the little tab needs to sit on this ridge in the AC condenser. So yeah, you can see it right there. So you make sure you get that guy in, and then try to center up the mounting points for the radiator. You're gonna go under, we're gonna go under and put the little brackets on. So we're gonna line up. Oops. We're gonna line up, and you can see they're pretty well lined up already. But these are the mounts for the condenser core right here. And we've got those little chrome tabs from the radiator that we're gonna slot in there. And we pull, make sure if you use that corrugated plastic, make sure you pull it out. And the only thing that really causes any real interference is this rigid, or semi-rigid AC line. It contacts the fins a little, but luckily it didn't bend any of them coming up. I think just a little bit of the rubber came off or something, but just kind of got a little gunk in there. But yeah, not too bad so far. So we're gonna button these up and then try to fit the radiator on its mounts. So it's hard to catch with the minimal light I have here, but you can actually see and confirm that you're in the channels up top for the AC core by when you pull these apart a little bit to try to shim them or slide them back and forth to get them lined up. You can see that it's riding in the channel up here, so that's a good way to verify you have it right. Okay, so when putting the lower mounts for the AC condenser core into the radiator, this is a little tricky. It took a second for me to figure out what you're supposed to do. You're gonna, the way things want to position, this guy's gonna want to drive under this mounting tab on the radiator. Instead, there's a notch in here. See it? There's a little slot in here. You need to slot it in so this wedge is on top of this mounting tab on the radiator, and then you can get this little bracket on. If you don't do that, you're going to be trying to pinch these things together, try to get them to fit, and that's not the way it's going to go. So yeah, just a quick tip, make sure you get this wedge on top, and then this will all go together nice and easy. And then you can look up inside the gap to confirm that you're mounting your top tabs are in place. Okay, so we have the radiator now in its mounts. Not too bad. The Mountune instructions have you put the condenser tabs on after, or at least it's the way they kind of read. It feels like some of their instructions are backwards, but they have you do it after. There's really no access. You've got to put them on while the radiator's still kicked out before you drop it in to the mounting points. So yeah, it's all in there. The only thing, like I said, that gets in the way really is this AC line, and you can see it didn't smash them, but it moved some of the fins a little bit. It's not the end of the world. I got a feeling if you paid somebody to do this, you'd have a lot more damage. In hindsight, I'd probably put the corrugated cover over it. You could avoid a little bit of that, but we're all set. Just gotta wait for my radiator lines to come in, and gotta button up the top. Gotta button these guys up here. Just reverse order. Got these little rubber positioners. So they just, it's upside down. They just slide in, the square side down, and you put your little plastic cap over it, and make sure you got all your hood release clear and your fan wiring clear. Yeah, that's it. That's good until we get the rest of the parts. So the fan shroud pretty much has to go in from the top. The lower AC line down there, because it's unable to move since it's attached to the engine, it's nearly impossible to slide this guy past it. So it's got to go in through the top. since I'm replacing the radiator hoses anyway, I took the upper hose out because it just kept getting in the way, getting this guy in. And then I put the blue plastic in between because there's a good chance you're going to tear it up if you don't. I even think I may have. No, I think we're good. So yeah, you get this guy in, then you put the brackets on top, and yeah, that's it. Then we can put the grommets back in. I accidentally put those in, or was starting to put those in before I got the fan shroud in, but you need them loose so you can get this tilt. You need that little bit of tilt forward so you can get the end of the shroud in here past this front lip. So that's it. Once you have the upper brackets tightened down for your fan shroud, make sure they're engaged in the tabs below. We're gonna go ahead, put these rubber centering grommets in, and then we can slide these covers back on, and I'm all done getting the radiator in. I've got to wait to get my hoses in the next couple days to finish this up, but that's the whole deal. Get the cap here, get clear past there, and breaking the process. There we go. Send it home. Now the radiator is in place, nice and tight. So that's it. Real quick for reconnecting, because when I took off the tie posts for the cabling harness there, I just cut them off, and these guys right here, bought them off Amazon. There's the part number on them. There's the part number right there, 5-9484. These look like a perfect match to replace the zip tie bases for the wiring harness.